Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back. So right now I'm trying to install um, Laravel. Or is it Laravel or no Vagrant? Um, yeah. So right now I'm trying to get Vagrant and VirtualBox installed. So I have them both installed onto my machine. So if you look at the server console right down here, you can see that I have the Laravel Homestead virtual machine installing. Um, so that's coming along. Let's see here. So once that finishes up, I'm going to keep going through the Homestead documentation and trying to get it all installed properly. So I just finished running the vagrant box add Laravel Homestead command, and then I'm going to move forward from there. For some reason, my web browser isn't showing up in this stream. Okay, so it looks like the Laravel install finished. Oh. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so let me try and get my web browser showing up in the stream. I don't know why it isn't. Sweet, thank you, Baller. I appreciate that. Yeah, let me try and get that working. Let me try and fix my stream real quick. For some reason, every time I start my stream back up, the web browser doesn't work. So let me try and get that pulled back up real fast. There we go. Okay. So let's see what we got here. So we just finished installing the Laravel virtual box. So now, if I scroll down, so once you have cloned the Homestead repository, run the bash init .sh command from the Homestead directory you create to create the homestead.yaml configuration file. Okay, so if I refresh this, see, that's what's weird, is like when I run that, it doesn't actually create a homestead file in my home directory. Or folder, I guess. Providers, so... And it doesn't actually say exactly where it installs this to. So by default it should be installing into just my home directory, but I'm not seeing it in there. Let's see here. So I have a vagrant D. All my hidden stuff is visible by default. Let me make sure that that's turned on there. It should still be. Folder options. Okay. Yeah, it's showing hidden folders. And it's not in there. I have a vagrant.d folder that was created, and I have a VirtualBox folder that was created. And according to the framework, it's saying that it should be in the home. Let's see. See, so I just ran. Let me zoom in on this so you guys can see it a little bit better in the stream. So I ran this command, just vagrant box add Laravel homestead. The first time I did it, when I just did a git clone on it, it was able to actually create the folder in the home folder, but I don't know where it puts it when I just run vagrant box add. I have a vagrant D file folder with a boxes folder, but there's nothing in there. Um, let's see here. Yeah, Baller, when I search for .homestead, the only thing that comes up is the box folder, which is just Laravel dash vagrant slash dash homestead. Um, Here, let me add my finder to the stream real quick. Okay, so so there's my search results. So when I search for homestead, the first thing that comes up is this Laravel vagrant slash homestead folder, and this is just located right in my home directory. So from my home directory, you can see right here, I have this vagrant D folder, and then inside that I have boxes, and then that's where that folder is. And then inside here, there isn't really a whole lot going on. It's just the virtual box. But when I installed it all using the actual git clone method, I had a lot more control over where that went. Um, so I don't know. I'm just wondering if maybe I should just try doing it that way again. Because when I did it that way, I was actually able to find the homestead.yaml configuration file in the homestead directory. So I don't know, I might just do that. Because I at least know that that worked. I just don't know if by doing it that way, if it actually creates the virtual box. I think I'm just going to start over again. I think I'm just going to do it that way. Because I at least know with that one, it created the folder in the right place. I'm just going to try that again. So I'm going to do... Oops. How do you paste into the git bash? That's weird. I'll just do this. Feel free to let me know, you guys, if the music is too loud. I can't really tell, so let me know if I need to turn that down at all. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and paste that. I'm going to clone that into the home folder. Yeah, see, so there, now that I did it that way, I have the homestead folder right here. And then from in there, I can run... So I'll do cd, let me go back into my console here. Okay, so now in my console I'll do cd homestead, and then I can do bash init.sh, and then, okay, so there we got homestead initialized. So that created the homestead file. Oh, wrong one. Which one was it? There we go. So that created the .homestead folder. So that's where we want it to be. So that's more like it. So once you have cloned the homestead repository, run the bash init.shell command from the homestead directory to create the homestead YAML configuration, which is placed in the home.homestead factory. Okay, or directory. So now we have the .homestead directory, which inside there's the homestead.yaml file. So that's what we were looking for. Okay, so we've made it this far. Oh, hold on. I ran over my headphone wire, and I'm stuck. I really need to get a desktop mic. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we have the Homestead YAML file, which indicates the Vagrant provider should be used VirtualBox or VMware Fusion. So we're using VirtualBox. So there's that, so that's good. Let me hide the file folder. There we go. Okay, so we have the provider set to VirtualBox. By default, it's set the IP to 192.168.10.10. So is that how I actually get into it? I sincerely doubt that that will just run. Okay, so setting your SSH key in the homestead.yaml file, you should also configure the path to your public SSH key. Don't have an SSH key on Mac and Linux, you can generally create an SSH key by using the following command. Okay, so I'll do that real quick as well. So I can do SSH keygen t rsa c, and then I'm going to do devnoobs at homestead. Unknown type. Oh, oops. I didn't need a dash there. There we go. Okay, so enter a file. So that's going to be user Sebastian SSH ID RSA. Perfect. Just for this development one, I'm not going to set a passphrase for now. Okay. And so by default, the authorize is home SSH ID RSA. Perfect. So that's already correct. .pub. Okay, so just to make sure that those are in the right spot, I'm going to go check. So we have SSH, RSA, and RSA pub. Perfect. Okay, so we have the authorized directory set, and we have the keys set. Map a directory you want to use for all your projects and map a URL to the directory on the VM. Okay, map a directory you want to use, make a site for Coder. Okay, I'm still not sure how to do that, so let me see here. So do I need to do that in VirtualBox? See, so in my VirtualBox, it's not showing a virtual machine in there, which is weird, because when I run... See, this is why I'm really confused right now. Let me explain this really quick. So, if you're looking at my web browser, when I run this command, vagrantbox add laravel /homestead, that actually creates a virtual box inside of my virtual machine. Like when I open VM, that's in there. But when I do it through the git clone, it doesn't create the virtual box, so I'm just not really sure how this is all working. Okay. I don't have a virtual box to start, is what I'm saying. It doesn't actually create one. Let me show you. Oh, what the hell? There we go. Okay, so in my virtual box right here, nothing has actually been added to it, which is what's confusing me. I'm not really sure how to actually get the virtual box in there, at least by cloning. I don't know if that makes sense, but the way I'm explaining it, but I don't know how to explain it because I'm not really sure what's going on. Um, so like when I was reading through the project setup on Vagrant, um, or no, on Laravel. So this first one, don't worry about that. You haven't provisioned one yet. Okay. Okay, so I guess I'm just not really sure where to go from this point then. So I have, let's see here. So I installed the Vagrant box using git clone. I configured the provider. I set up the SSH. Okay, so configuring shared folders. The folders property of the homestead.yaml file lists all of the folders you wish to share with your homestead environment. As files within these folders are changed, they will be kept in sync between your local machine and your homestead environment. You may configure as many shared folders as possible. Okay, so in that case then I guess I'm just going to go and create a random, well not a random, but just a place to keep all of my local dev files. Am I correct in that? So this map so the map folder must be where I actually keep my local development files, and then that copies it or keeps it in sync with the home Vagrant code folder. I think that's right. That sounds like it would be right. Okay, cool. Thank you, Baller. Seriously, you've been such a help through all this. Okay, so let's find a good place to keep it. I need to install a new hard drive on my computer. I'm running out of memory, yo. Alright, I'm gonna go with I did type a file name. What are you doing? Okay, so I'm gonna go with code. So I'm going to map the D drive slash code to folders, and then under site is going to be each app. So homestead app. So where does this homestead app come from? Is that already installed somewhere, or do I just kind of bullshit that and make it something else? Folder property of YAML, blah blah blah. As files within these folders are changed, okay, configure as many folders as necessary. So map the folder code to this folder inside the Vagrant instance, and then to enable NFS. I don't need that. Okay, so if I give it the name devnoobs.app, it'll just automatically generate that. and then I can have that configured to home Vagrant code Laravel slash. Do I have to keep that as public, or can I rename Laravel to like devnoobs? Okay, cool, perfect. That's what I was figuring. Okay, and then I'm assuming I can rename the database name from Homestead to devnoobs as well. Let me zoom. Sorry, I keep zooming out of my code when I stop streaming. There we go. So does this all look right then? The IP address? I don't know. Is that the right IP address? That's just the one it gave me by default. It should be 192.168.0.0, right? I don't know. Okay, so authorize, got that done. The keys is done. Folders, so that maps it from my D drive slash code to the home Vagrant code folder, and then we have devnoobs app, and then okay, so I think everything should be good then. Let me read through the rest of the docs. Let's see here. By default, each site will be accessible via HTTP via port 8000. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Don't forget to add the domains for your nginx sites to the host file on your machine. So the host file will redirect. Okay, so I need to go into my hosts file. So let's do that real quick. So let me get all up in there. So open Sublime Text. Okay, so here's my hosts file. And I need to change this. Okay, so instead of homestead.app, I need to change that to devnoobs.app, right? So 192.168.10.10 devnoobs.app. Make sure the IP address listed on the site is the one in your homestead file. Once you have added the domain to your host app, you can finally access the site. Okay, so let's... Oh shit, I forgot to change the permissions. Duh. 1 second. Hosts, properties, security, edit. There we go. So now I should be able to save that. There we go. Alright, so according to that, I should be able to go to devnoobs.app now. Oh. No, not that I know of. I had to borrow some from Rachel and Justin. Vagrant up. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Where am I? Here we go. So go to Homestead folder. So cd dot homestead. No such file or directory. What? Oh, is it homestead or dot homestead? I think it's just homestead. There we go. So now Vagrant up. Oh, what does it say? A Vagrant environment or target machine is required to run this command. Run Vagrant init to create a new Vagrant environment, or get an ID. Okay, so Vagrant init. A Vagrant file has been placed in this directory. You are now... Okay, so now I run Vagrant up. An error occurred while downloading the remote file. The error message, if any, is reproduced below. Could not open file user Sebastian Homestead base. There is no base. Okay, Homestead. Alright, let me try that. There we go. It's doing something. Nine minutes? Whoa, what? What's it downloading? Okay, so it's actually creating the virtual box now. Perfect. Okay, that's what I was wondering about. Thank you, Baller. Well, looks like I have a couple minutes to kill while that's installing. Okay, so once that's done, go to your code directory on local and install Laravel in a directory called devnoobs. Okay, perfect. So let's go to just basic installation. I'll have this ready for... I mean, since I'm waiting, I could just install that right now, right? I shouldn't have to worry about anything. So, do I use my local console to install it, or do I use a... Because I don't think I have... do I... Because I need Composer to install Laravel, right? So I'm gonna have to install Composer dot the Composer onto my machine, huh? I thought I had Composer installed already. Guess not. Hey, what's up, Crashman? How's it going? I can SSH into the VM and install it there too. Okay, so... But that would already... shouldn't Composer already be installed through Laravel, though? Or not Laravel, yeah, Laravel. I thought Laravel, would install it with it. I could be wrong. Um, I'm doing good, man. Thanks for asking. I've been attempting to learn Laravel, and I'm installing Homestead and all this other stuff. It's been a day of learning curves and overcoming them, but it's been fun. I've had a lot of support through it, which is nice. Okay, well, I just installed Composer onto my local machine, so now I should be able to use Composer to install Laravel onto my local into my local folder easily. So I'm gonna do that while I'm waiting for the virtual box to be created, just to save some time. For this. Cool, thanks, Baller. Yeah, that's what I was using to install it earlier as well, and it seemed to be working pretty well. Yeah, yeah, I noticed that earlier when I was messing around with it. The same thing happened, so thank you. I will definitely be sure to change that. Um, I'm gonna have to move some files around to make some room on my C directory because I'm running out of space. So, Excuse me while I do that real quick. You were working on a farm for 11 hours? 13 hours. Sorry, I can't math. That's pretty cool. What were you doing on a farm? Were you hanging out with chickens and cows and stuff? I need to have a technology free day soon. I really want to go camping. The weather's finally nice enough to where that's actually like doable. Alright, how's that install going? About a minute left. There it goes. It's doing something. Dude, that's awesome. I kind of miss doing physical labor. The most physical labor I do around here is I just do the yard work around the house, which is nice. You know, I don't go outside a whole lot. Uh, with my whole job thing, so I need to start doing that more. Hence why I've been like itching to go camping soon. I just moved up to Vancouver, Washington, so it's just like beautiful everywhere, mountains, trees, and I just feel like I'm missing out on all of it. Were you chopping wood and stuff? Importing base box, Laravel slash homestead. Alright. Importing. Do it. Yeah, Seattle's awesome. Since I've only lived in Washington for about 3.5, going on 4 months now, and so I haven't had a whole lot of opportunity to travel. Um, the most traveling I do is getting down into Portland, which is fun. Portland's great. Um, but yeah, I want to go up to Seattle again soon. I haven't been to Seattle since I was a kid. Chopping wood, dude, that's awesome. That is like the best thing ever for like your manhood. Chopping wood puts hair on your chest. Building a cabin, holy shit, that's awesome. You want to build me a cabin? I want a cabin. Let's go build a cabin together. Stream crashed for you? Like, permanently, or did it come back up for you? Okay, it looks like Homestead is just about done installing um, the box. So let's wait and see what's going on with that. VirtualBox wants my permission to do stuff. Yeah, you can have it, dude. You have my permission. Alright. Install. Oh, man, this thing needs a lot of permissions. It's asked for my permission to do stuff like 4 times in a row. Okay, there we go. Sweet. So I now have a virtual box for Homestead running. Beautiful. So that is what we were looking for. What the hell? So... Alright, Crash Man, take it easy. Thanks for stopping in. Have a good night, man. I will see you later. Okay, so let me pull this in to the stream so we can see it. Okay, so I now officially have my virtual box with Homestead, with Homestead running. I think I want to go in to my homestead.yaml file, and I want to change my local folders directory. Is it safe to do that now that this is running, or is that going to just totally screw everything up? I'm scared, you guys. Oh, wait, my console's giving me some errors. SSH authentication method private key warning connection timeout retrying. Why are you timing out? SSH address. Connection refused. So something's happening with the VM. It looks like it's having some difficulties connecting to something. Uh, let's see here. Default warning, connection timeout, retrying. That's strange. So does that mean I probably won't be able to get to the devnoobs.app, huh? I sincerely doubt it. Nope. Okay. What was that? You just have to re-provision it once you make changes, I think. Oh, in terms of changing the directories. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna close this up real quick. And I'm gonna change the folder path for my local code really fast. 9 gigs. I need to run my recycle bin real quick. There we go. Okay. What? Yeah, I need to spend some time cleaning it up. Nice. Yeah, we do. We need more. We do need more hangers. Okay. So I'm going to change it to my documents folder, and I'm gonna name it local dev. And then I'm going to map it to home / documents. Okay, I think I have that right now. Okay, so now if I go back and do vagrant up again, that should start it back up, if I'm not mistaken, right? Bring machine default up with VirtualBox. VirtualBox is already running and it's up to date. Okay. Pretty sure I just changed something, but whatever you say. So, okay, so now okay, so I have it up and running. So now I just have to install Laravel, right, at this point? Into my local code folder. Let me try that just to see what happens. So if I go to my local folder and I go cd local dev. So if I go cd users what? Oh, I'm already in the... Okay, so cd documents, and then cd local dev. There we go. Vagrant halt and then vagrant up again. Okay, that's good to know. Halt, halt, halt. Okay, so now that I'm in my local dev folder, now I can use Composer to install Laravel. So now if I go Composer, create project, Laravel / Laravel dev noobs, preferred distribution. Composer command not found. Shit. Oh, do I have to do that in my regular CD folder? Duh. Okay, Composer create project Laravel / Laravel dev noobs preferred dist. Okay, so it looks like it's thinking. Okay, so Composer is installing Laravel into my local development folder right now. Need to restart the terminal most likely because the path needs to be updated for it to be used globally. Okay, yeah, once Composer is done installing the dependencies for Laravel, I'm just going to restart my terminals and the virtual machine from scratch and see what happens. Alright, just waiting. Alright, that's done. So let's see if anything else is required to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and restart my terminals and everything, and then I'm going to open up my documents and make sure that Laravel was installed. Okay, perfect. So inside of my local development folder, I have a DevNoobs folder with everything, well, what looks like everything I need inside of it. So now, let me open back up my git bash, and let's see if everything is working here. Let's see here. So documents, development, DevNoobs app. Okay, I'm just going through the YAML code again. Okay, so if I go back into my home folder, I have my homestead folder. So I want to go cd homestead vagrant up. Okay, so that's doing its thing. So username vagrant, Warning, connection timeout retrying. It's giving me the same error that it gave last time when I tried to run this. Waiting for machine to boot. This may take a few minutes. SSH address. So this is saying that it's using the SSH address 127.0.0.1 with the port of 2222. Is that being messed up with this, the 192.168.1010? I'm not really sure what that means. So let's... Is this working? Super is not working. Okay. Once you've edited the homestead to your liking, run the vagrant up command from your homestead directory. Vagrant will boot the virtual machine and automatically configure your shared folders. That doesn't seem to be working. You need to restart terminal. If that does not work, try vagrant up provision. Quit and try up provision. Okay. Let me try that real quick. Oh, vagrant. Can't spell. Already running. Oh, I need to shut it down. This is that messed up song again. Skip. Oh, it's all good, Gixer. I was just curious because I've never. This is my first time setting up a local host on a local machine, and I've never worked with Vagrant or anything before, and so I was just making sure that there weren't any discrepancies between settings, just because I've never actually used this before. I've been trying pretty much all day to get Laravel set up. I had it almost working earlier in the day, but haven't had any luck with it. Alright, I'm waiting for the virtual box to shut down. Okay, powered off. Alright, so now let's try vagrant up -- provision. Let's see what that does. See if that makes a difference. Bring machine online, checking if box is up to date, clearing any previous set forwarded ports. Okay, cool, so that kind of resets everything before starting it up. Baller, that is also a very good point. If this doesn't work, I will try resetting those. Okay, yeah, I got the same warning. Connection timeout retrying. So let me shut everything down again. And let me try renaming those files, and we'll see if that makes a difference. I haven't checked the ports yet. I'll check those next if this doesn't work, and we'll see if that works. Okay, so I just renamed all of my folder paths. Let's see if that does anything. Real quick. Whoa. Vagrant cannot forward the specified ports. Oh, just like you said. Okay, Vagrant cannot forward the specified ports on this VM since they would collide with some other application that is already listening on these ports. The forwarded port to 8000 is already in use on the host machine. To fix this, modify your current project's Vagrant file to use another port. For example, where 1234. Sometimes Vagrant will attempt to autocorrect this for you. In this case, Vagrant was unable to. This is usually because the guest machine is in a state which doesn't allow modifying port forwarding. That's interesting. Okay. The ports were configured properly before. So I need to find my... What was it? My config file. My project's Vagrant file. So let me go into my root folder, and it was Vagrant. My Vagrant file? Yeah, right there, Vagrant file. This doesn't have anything. Maybe it's the other folder. Vagrant file. Here we go. Maybe? Man, I don't understand why this whole thing is giving me such a hard time. This has been a total pain in my ass to get set up all day. Okay. There's nothing in here about... ports. I'm gonna try running that one more time, just to see what happens. It looks like this time it's working. Yeah, that was a weird error that it gave. Alright, let's see if it actually works this time after changing the, God damn it, warning, connection timeout, retrying. Ugh. I haven't even had a chance to actually, like, play with Laravel today. I can't even fucking get it working. Alright, what is the problem here? We have IP 192, and that has been changed in the host folder right here. 192.168.10.10 devnoobs app. Memory, CPUs, provider, authorize. That's already been generated. Key has already been generated. That is the correct path to it. Folders map. User Sebastian documents development. That was already set up. Named it devnoobs app, and that's being pushed to the public devnoobs folder. Databases. I don't understand what the problem could be. Ugh. This is so frustrating. Alright, shit. Do I have VT enabled in BIOS? Yes. I don't understand what the issue with this is. I mean, I've had problems with it in the past as well, but I've never tried doing it through Homestead. Um, yeah, this is bumming me out. I'm starting to lose hope. Installation setup. Alright, install VirtualBox, done. Install Vagrant, done. Vagrant is installed as a VirtualBox. I have all of my settings configured. This file will be placed in your Homestead directory. Oops, sorry guys, I keep bumping my mic. I really, I hate this mic. Provider, VirtualBox, done. I already generated an SSH key. The folders are configured. Should I enable NFS? I don't know what difference that'll make, but no, I'm not having any performance penalties because I can't even connect to it. Gixxer, I have not actually let it time out. I keep canceling it, so let me try running it until it just throws an error. Thank you for the link. I will check that out, Baller. Let me read that real quick. Solve this problem and will answer in case anyone else had this similar issue. What I did, I enabled the GUI of VirtualBox to see that it was waiting for input on startup to select whether I wanted to boot directly to Ubuntu. To turn on the GUI, put this in your Vagrant config Vagrant file. Okay, cool. Let me try this really quick. I'm going to close this out again. Let me try that. Vagrant file. Okay, so it was config.vm.provider VirtualBox do vb vb.gui equals true end. Alright, let's see if that makes a difference. I'm really hoping that it does, and I will be really excited if it does. Alright, let's see what we can do here. There was an error loading a Vagrant file. The file being loaded by the error was shown below. Blah blah blah. Undefined local variable or method config of main. So config.vm provider didn't work. Maybe I have to put this inside of the vagrant.config. Let's try that. There we go. Alright, let's see if that... Nope, shit, what the hell? That's the same port message that I got before. So let me try running it again, and it might work. Last time I tried running it a second time, it worked. Sound effects. Okay, there it goes. Oh, let's see. Oh, hey, look at that. I got a thing. Oh, I got an error in VirtualBox. Let's see here. It says VTX AMD Virtual Hardware Accelerator is not available on your system. Your 64-bit guess will fail to detect a 64-bit CPU and will not be able to boot. Seems to be booting anyways. Alright, let me pull up the window for my virtual machine so you guys can see what's going on here. Okay. So, there that is in the upper left-hand corner of the stream. Okay, so this is giving me... You have the auto capture keyboard option turned on. This will cause the virtual machine to automatically capture blah de blah. Okay, so Ubuntu. I don't need that message. The guest machine enter an invalid state while waiting for it to boot. Valid states are starting running. The machine is in the paused state. Please verify. Why is it in the paused state? I'm not able to move my mouse or my keyboard. Anybody know the command to get out of capture mode for the virtual machine? Right control. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, there it says it right there. Dumb. Alright. So it's open, but it gave me a weird error here. So it says that it's paused. So let me go over to my VirtualBox. It says that it's running. If the provider you're using has a GUI that comes with it, it is often helpful to open that and watch the machine. Since the GUI is often more helpful error messages than Vagrant can retrieve. For example, if you're using the VirtualBox, run Vagrant up while the Vagrant box GUI is open. So yeah, so this isn't doing anything. This is kind of just sitting here. Okay, that's annoying. Go away. Oops. Okay. Valid states are starting, running, the machine is in the pause state. It's not though, you're a liar head. If the provider you're using has a GUI, so should I try running Vagrant up again now that it's up? It's already running. Yeah, and it's in the run state, but it's just here. You mentioned something about destroying the old VM. I think I might do that and then try rebuilding it with those settings changed. Let's see here. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna, now that I have those settings changed, I guess I'll just try destroying it and then rebuild it. Maybe? And then try Vagrant up again. All this just to learn Laravel. Apparently Laravel takes some fucking commitment, I'll tell you what. %. Okay. Okay. So power it off. It finished creating the virtual box. Yeah, man, I don't know what's going on. This is way more complicated than I thought it was going to be. Again, okay, so we have... Okay, so I'm getting this error when the virtual box opens. It says VTX AMDV hardware acceleration is not available on your system. Your 64-bit guest will fail to detect a 64-bit CPU and will not be able to boot. So I guess, is that part of the problem? For some reason the box isn't able to detect my CPU? Because I'm running a 64-bit operating system. Apparently that's a problem, I guess. I don't understand why it would be. That doesn't make sense to me. such a pain in my ass. Yeah, so every time the machine runs, it just opens up to a black screen and gives me that error. Keeps mentioning something about a 64-bit operating system, or CPU being the problem, I guess, which seems not right to me, but version system processor display storage. And this is so weird, man. Yeah, I've got my VTech set up in my BIOS. Um, but just to be 100% sure, I guess I'll restart my computer and double check, just because I don't want to say that I have it enabled. Oh, you know what? It might not be. I have it enabled on my laptop. I don't know if I have it enabled on my desktop though. Let me check. Let me double check just to be sure, because I don't want to say that I do and then not. So I'm gonna reboot my computer real quick and make sure that that's enabled, and then I will be back in just a couple minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna do that real fast. I'll be right back.